Hi, I'm Kirby Allison. Today I'm really excited to show you the different steps and products that you can use to waterproof a pair of suede dress shoes. I have with me a pair of my favorite suede shoes, my Anthony Cleverly bow tie tassel slip-ons. And with suede shoes, it's incredibly important to remember that proper care is proper waterproofing. The products that we're using in today's video are the Saphir Médaille d'Or Super Invulner, the Saphir Médaille d'Or Pate Deluxe Wax Polish. Here I have it in neutral. The Saphir Médaille d'Or Soul Guard. And lastly, I have our Hanger Project Boar Bristle Suede Cleaning Brush and one of our natural pig bristled welt brushes. If you have any questions or comments during this video, feel free to ask them in the comments section below. I enjoy getting back to as many of those questions and comments as I possibly can. And of course, all of the products in today's shoe shine tutorial can be found on hangerproject.com. One of the things that I like to do before I waterproof suede is always to brush the suede. This is just going to ensure that any dirt or anything else that has been accumulated by the suede is removed before you seal the shoe. And it raises the nap so that the waterproofing goes on better. I'm using our natural boar bristled Hanger Project Suede Cleaning Brush, which I prefer over any of the brushes that use brass bristles, which can be too strong and can actually damage your suede. Now, if you don't have a boar bristled suede cleaning brush at home, you can also use a stiffer pig bristled shoe shine brush, which works just as well to brush suede. For more information about how to care for suede shoes, take a look at our How to Clean Suede Shoes tutorial. Step 1 is to waterproof the suede using the Saphir Médaille d'Or Super Invulner. I'm going to do this by spraying the Super Invulner all the way around the uppers of the leather, preferably outside because the aerosol has a very strong aroma to it that can take a long time to dissipate in a room. So I always recommend doing this either in a garage or outside. You want to spray it at a distance of 6 to 12 inches from the shoe itself, and it's always a good practice to pay particular interest to get the Super Invulner into the welt, this area between the upper of the shoe and the sole, because again, that is a potential entry point for water into the shoe, and especially for a Goodyear welted shoe, if you get too much water into this area of the shoe where the cork and the welt is stitched, the water can actually degrade the integrity of the Goodyear welt. There's two reasons I really like the Saphir Médaille d'Or Super Invulner. First, it doesn't contain any harmful silicones, so it's safe to use on even the finest leathers. But secondly, and just as important, is that it doesn't dry too quickly. Now that is important because if you have a waterproofing agent or an aerosol that dries too quickly, it can actually cause white rings to form on the uppers itself. So any type of waterproofing agent that's really designed for sport shoes or casual shoes isn't something that I would ever use on a really fine pair of dress shoes. After you've sprayed your shoe, allow the Super Invulner approximately 30 minutes to an hour to dry. For additional protection of the welt, I recommend using some neutral wax polish to actually brush and clean the welt. So to apply wax polish to the welt, take your welt brush. I recommend just bringing up a little bit of wax polish, and then you want to just take this into the welt at an angle, and you're brushing it into the welt. Again, you want it to soak into those threads and seal it up. You can see I've taken wax off of half the brush, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now you've got to be careful not to apply too much polish, because if you have too much polish on your brush, you're going to risk getting it onto the upper itself. Now with smooth calfskin shoes, that's not a problem because it's wax polish, you can just buff it off. On suede shoes, it will get into the nap and it can change that texture. Now if you're worried about getting any wax polish onto the suede upper, a little trick that I learned from some shoemakers is you can actually take some masking tape and you can lay it into the edge of the upper where it meets the welt and put that in there. And that's just going to help you further protect that suede from getting any type of wax polish onto it, which will alter the texture of the suede. So again, the wax polish, to condition the welt, that certainly is great because again, it's providing that additional waterproofing and that additional kind of protection of the welt stitching, but it definitely takes additional time and effort to be safe. So after you've applied the wax polish into the welt, take your welt brush and buff the wax smooth. One of the added benefits of using a neutral wax polish to help waterproof the welt is that it's conditioning those welt threads to help strengthen them, but then also the solvents in the wax polish just does an incredible job to clean the welt itself. And so this is an area that normally accumulates some dirt. It's just a nice touch to clean any dirt that accumulates kind of inside this welt. Now lastly, in step 3, you don't want to neglect waterproofing the soles of your shoes. Saphir has an incredible product that they've just developed. It's one of the newest products that they've released. It's called the Saphir Medallion Sole Guard. It's a vegetable oil-based conditioner that's also been enhanced with waterproofing agents to help protect the sole of the shoe itself from absorbing water. Applying the sole guard is really easy. Now, first, you want to shake it really well to make sure any of those waterproofing agents haven't separated. And then simply apply the sole guard to the bottom of the dress shoe using a cotton chamois. Waterproofing the soles of your shoes is especially important for 2 reasons. First, whenever the leather dress sole becomes wet, it softens. And if you're walking on concrete pavement, it dramatically increases the wear on the sole itself. Second is if you spend a prolonged period of time out walking on wet surfaces, you can actually have water soak through the sole into the center corking and cause that to degrade. After you've applied this, you want to allow approximately 1 hour for the sole guard to dry. One of the important things to remember about waterproofing is that it's meant to wear off. So it's important to re-verify that your shoes are still waterproofed by just simply dropping some water on top of the upper and making sure that the water still forms into a bead. If it doesn't bead up, then it simply means that it's time to renew the waterproofing by reapplying the Saphir Supernova. The problem with most aerosol-based waterproofing sprays is that they're silicone-based, and that silicone continues to build up on the surface of the leather itself and never wears off, thereby permanently altering the texture of the leather itself. As you can see, these shoes are perfectly waterproofed and ready for another trip to New York or London, where you can be quite certain that sooner or later you'll be caught outside in the rain. So in summary, first I brushed the suede using our suede cleaning brush. Then I waterproofed the uppers using our Saphir Medallion Supernova, followed by further waterproofing the welt with our Saphir Pate Deluxe wax polish. And lastly, I finished with the Saphir Sole Guard to provide that additional waterproof protection to the soles of the shoe itself. If you haven't seen our videos on daily shoe care for suede shoes or our how to clean suede shoe tutorial, make sure you check those out because they're 2 great resources on how to care for your suede dress shoes. If you have any questions or comments about anything you saw in this video, please ask them in the comments section below. I enjoy getting back to as many of those questions as I can. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications by clicking the bell to the right of the subscribe button so that you can know whenever we release new videos. And of course, please visit hangerproject.com where we have the largest, most comprehensive collection of luxury garment care and shoe care accessories in the world, as well as many other great products for the well-dressed. And while you're there, subscribe to our newsletter to receive notifications of new product launches, promotions, as well as a weekly digest of all the videos we publish here on our YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm wearing one of my bespoke Chris Despis fresco suits, perfect for the summertime. I have a Simino Godard linen pocket square, a blue Palatino socks, and of course, I'm wearing a pair of bespoke Cleverly hole cuts. This was my first pair of bespoke shoes I ordered from George Cleverly. My tie is a Kirby Allison Sovereign Grade Ancient Matter tie with the silk from Keats Silk. And of course, my ensemble wouldn't be complete without a pair of our Kirby Allison horn collar stays. For these and many other incredible accessories for the well-dressed, please visit hangerproject.com. I'm Kirby Allison. Thanks for joining us.